quick before we get started, we just wanted to remind everybody that our numbers and estimating course is this weekend.
Last chance to get in.
Get in there now. I'm trying to think of any questions we've been getting. Like, is this course for me if my business has just started? Yes. It's actually really awesome if you have a new business, because you will be on top of your numbers before you get too far into a hole. Does that make sense? A lot of people wait too long to start working on their numbers and getting their estimating down. So if your business is new, that is awesome. That is great. Even if your business has been around for a couple years, also fine, because now you've probably felt the little bit of a sting of making some bad numbers decisions. So you can feel it in your heart. You know that you need to do this because you know what it feels like to work your butt off and go home and be like, well, that was fun, but now I don't have any money. So.
Yep. Another question we've gotten is this recorded? Is the event going to be recorded? So it's a 2-day virtual event. So yes, it's going to be recorded. You'll have access to it. Plus, if you sign up for the numbers course, you'll have access to all our other courses for the numbers portion of our academy.
Wait, say that again. If you sign up for the numbers course, you have access. Okay, so if you sign up for this 2-day event, this is a 2-day live event where we're going to take you through all the, when people say you have to know your numbers. If you don't know what that means, this is a perfect event for you, because we're going to explain all that. So not only are we going to walk you through what these numbers are and how to figure them out, we're then going to show you how to use them to make an estimate.
Correct. And you'll have access to all the courses that we've already created in the academy for the numbers section.
Yes. Well, because we have additional courses that we're probably not going to cover this weekend, but you will have those like as a bonus. So not only will you get a recording of the weekend and access to all the courses that go along with everything that you've learned over the weekend, as a bonus, you will get any and all courses that we have related to numbers that we didn't talk about over the weekend. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yes, for the most part, yes. And then you'll also have access to all our calculators. So you don't have to do any of the math for you. So if you're worried about, I don't know how to do all this stuff.
If you're finding, this all intimidating, don't worry about it. You don't need to show up with those like big calculators that accountants use that have like the little rolly tape thing and you mix all those noises. You do not need to have that. You don't need, your graphing calculator from high school, because we have everything in spreadsheets for you. This is all just plug and chug.
Yep. You just put your information in there, what you pay your people, what you pay for your equipment, what you pay for your overhead, and we'll go over all those things. If you're not sure where to get them from, we're going to explain that all to you throughout the course. That was one of the questions we got was, do I have access to this? And
absolutely. So, and another thing that was interesting that came up today, Scott was working with one of our members of the $1 Million Academy, a guy who's already in the academy, and he uses software for his estimates, but he's doing I don't know if it's a special kind of job. He's getting into a new line of work, and he wanted to refine his estimate and make sure that he was doing it correctly. So the calculators and spreadsheets and everything that we have will let you tweak your estimates outside of the parameters that a lot of software puts on you. You kind of get stuck. So even if you're already using software and you've got big jobs or special jobs that you do where you're like, oh man, I really wish that I could tweak this a little bit more. Our spreadsheets are a lot more fine-tuned to give you a lot more leverage to do those types of things than software. Software kind of pigeonholes you in.
Yeah. He was trying to just find out like what is how many hours he's actually going to be on the job with that many team members and what he's actually going to pay out. Where his software, you couldn't exactly pinpoint exactly what you're going to pay your team. So we're able to quickly, within 3 or 4 minutes, we're able to punch in what he's paying his people, put all the information, and I can show him exactly down to the T. As long as he's figuring his budget, the time, his time's right.
As long as your outputs are only as good as your inputs. So as long as you put in the correct amount of time, it can tell you exactly what you're going to be putting out in payroll.
So he knows now exactly like what he would physically write his check for to pay his people, including all the taxes and everything goes along with having employees. So he's able to quickly do that. So it's nice to be able to do that. Where like he said with some of the software, you can't necessarily do that without having to go change a bunch of stuff and then throw everything else off. So it is kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our pitch for that. Honest to God, get in. I mean, it's the number one question that we get asked is around estimating and numbers, and it's the biggest mistake that we see people make even when they think that they're estimating correctly and know their numbers. And so it's the place to start. It's the foundation of your business. if you don't have your numbers and your estimating down, then you're building on sand. It's all going to fall right out from underneath you. So,
Yep.
all right, I think that was our quick word. Sponsors, we'll hear from sponsors real quick, and then we'll be back.
This podcast is brought to you by Busy Busy. Busy Busy is so simple to use, and it's the most reliable GPS time tracking app on the market. And the best part is, it was built for landscapers. Busy Busy's founder created Busy Busy because he owns multiple construction companies and needed to understand better which projects were making him money and which projects were killing him. Payroll is the highest variable cost in the project, so you better be tracking it. Busy Busy does this better than anyone else. So download Busy Busy today, and don't forget to mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast to get 3 free months.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com, and for $100 off, mention the $1 Million Landscaper podcast. If you want to get the leads you want and turn your current clients into raving fans, then you need to try SendJim. They've created an exclusive offer just for our listeners. If you sign up today, you can get your first month for just $2. So if you haven't already, go to sendjim.io/MDL, where you can get even more exclusive deals just for $1 Million Landscaper podcast listeners. That's sendjim.io/MDL, and take advantage of these awesome deals today. Today, we are going to continue to be on our number soapbox. And I know we've been talking about numbers a lot lately. But today, I want to hopefully bring a little bit of a different light to the conversation. Oops, I'm knocking our mics over. Specifically, I want to talk about how one of the biggest mistakes that we see struggling landscapers make is making more sales without learning their numbers and tightening up their estimating first. Because if you aren't making the money that you think you should be making, and you're already working, 8 days a week, and you don't have any money to show for it, what's making more sales going to do? You cannot create more time.
Because you can do the more sales, but you're going to keep estimating the same way you've been estimating, and that's not changing. And if you're not changing the way you're estimating, you're going to keep pricing the same work the way you've been doing it, and you're not making any more money. So
yes, because if your schedule's full, you don't have a sales problem. If you're selling enough work to keep yourself busy, you do not have a sales problem. You have a numbers problem. Because there's only so much time in a day. There's only so many hours a week unless you stop sleeping, I suppose. Working more and just selling more isn't going to get you the results that you want. And just to put it pretty bluntly, the going out and making more sales without getting a handle on your numbers and estimating first, that is whipped cream on garbage. It's putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
However you want to say it. It's not fixing the problem. It's not getting to the root of the problem. It's just, like I said, it's whipped cream on garbage.
Yeah, that's true. This is something that some advice we received many, many years ago was just to go sell more work. Keep doing it. You'll get through. You'll get through. And we didn't. To come to the end of the year, again, we still didn't have any money, and it was just creating more stress, creating more heartache for us because we're trying to get all this stuff done and figure out, employees and all the good stuff that goes along with having more work. And we just didn't have the money. And it turns out is because we weren't charging enough. We didn't know our numbers. We didn't know what we're doing with that portion of it. And
we were putting whipped cream all over our garbage. We had tons of garbage with lots of whipped cream on it. So selling was never the issue. It was always the numbers. So right now it's the end of October, and this is really a perfect time of year to address this problem. Because number one, you've got a whole season worth of jobs behind you. Because if you've been in business for a while, you've probably got a couple years worth of numbers. But even if you're new, you've at least got this latest season behind you. This is fresh information that you can use. You can help use this data to fix your problems. Like, I think of numbers, it's just data. Like,
it is.
It's just data. So it's a great time of year because number one, you've got that at all. It's fresh. It's new. It's your current business. That's amazing. And the second reason that October is a great time to do this is because if you fix these problems right now, you still have time in 2022 to see the results of fixing these numbers. So it's not too late. Like, we might be getting on Q4 here, but it is not too late. There is still time to see the benefits of getting your numbers straight.
Yep.
Because I know we talk a lot about doing it dirty. I wore my Do It Dirty shirt today just for this podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, but I really don't want anyone to have the misconception that just working yourselves in circles and not seeing enough profits is doing it dirty. That is not what we mean. That is just more whipped cream on garbage. Yep. Doing it dirty it's about taking imperfect action. Keyword big action. It's trying to fix the problem, even if you're not sure how to do it or if you're going to get it right the first time. To me, whipped cream on garbage, that's just being scared. It's being scared to take action towards getting to the root of the problem and fixing what really needs to get fixed. It's taking the easy way out. And it's not easy. I don't mean easy as in like lazy. I mean, because you're working yourself to death. It's easy because you're staying in your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Because even if you're not getting what you want out of your comfort zone, it's more easy. Those are words. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone, even if it's not what you want, because it's scary to stretch yourself. It's scary to go outside your comfort zone. If you don't know what you're doing with numbers, it's scary to ask for help. It's scary to figure it out. So.
Oh yeah, and it's something that we see many landscapers that they're just not confident, and so it comes out in many different factors. Not being confident in your numbers, it affects your sales, it affects everything you do in your business because you're not confident. You think, well, I think I'm doing all right. I'll keep doing this until it's too late, and then it's too late. It's done and gone. You know, it could actually hurt you. We've seen many businesses come and go because they just didn't watch what they're doing. They didn't know what they're doing, and they weren't confident in themselves.
You have to be okay with stretching yourself. You have to be okay with going outside of your comfort zone. And like we said, asking for help, getting the help, learn it somewhere. Because doing it dirty actually takes a lot of guts, and it requires you to stretch outside of your comfort zone. So if you are ready to stretch and if you're ready to do it dirty, you can improve your financial situation in 2 days. We've been talking a lot about it. Our course is this weekend. We've got our numbers course that's, the 29th and 30th. It's the live 2-day numbers and estimating training. But you can make life-changing progress in just 2 days. Think about that. If you've been struggling all season and if you're like, what is going on? I can't do this another season. Why am I even staying in business if this is what's happening? Imagine what it would be like to just change that in 2 days. 2 days.
Yep. And you might be questioning that. That's not possible. I can't do it all. Trust me, we've been doing it with our clients inside the Millionaire Academy for the past couple of years, and they're just mind blown by how quick and easy we make it for you because we've done all the hard work for you. We just help get the information out of you, put it in these calculators, and it's going to tell you what you need to charge. And it's very, very, it's a simple process once you see it and understand it. Again, you're going to be a little
simple
scared.
doesn't always mean easy.
Yes.
Because it's going to take a little elbow grease on your part to come up with the right numbers, but it's doable.
Yes, and absolutely. And no matter, if you use our system, you go out, purchase a software, it's all going to take some time. And you have to put, like Katie said earlier, garbage in, you'll get garbage out. So you have to be able to put the proper bit of information, whether it's, again, using our systems or use some bit of software that can help you do your estimating.
Absolutely. The knowledge that you would gain this weekend is applicable whether you use our spreadsheets or whether, like Scott said, you use, if you end up using software, even if you don't have software now, if you want it in the future. This is the baseline knowledge that gives you the ability to put good inputs in so you can get good outputs.
Well, and the whole point of doing this live like this, we wanted you to have the opportunity to ask questions. So if you're not sure about something or where something should go or whatever, you can hop in and ask these questions during this 2-day live event. So we're welcoming these questions because you don't know what you don't know. I mean, we did this at first too. We struggled, like I said before.
We didn't know. You said it perfectly. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Yep.
And then when you do learn it, you're like, I didn't know.
And the more you start going over it, the more you start understanding it. And it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. I understand this now. Like we have one lady in the academy right now. She was struggling. She was very, very close to really going out of business in her landscaping business. And we helped work through her numbers. And now she's literally done 180 turn in her business. And now we've gotten to the point, and it's been less than a year, where now she's understanding the numbers. She's like, oh, we can tweak this now. We can tweak this now and improve on it. And it's just awesome to see those results that she's getting because she's taking the time to work on it. Now, we didn't go like dive in 2 days like we're doing here. We spread that out over some time, but she's been doing a lot of her own. But it's, if you sit down and put the work in, gather some information, we can quickly turn this around for you.
Absolutely. And the course is $597, which when you think about what you get, you can make that money back in one estimate.
Oh, yeah.
Just by getting your net profit up. I just wanted to walk you through a quick example because I know people will be like, get a little anxiety around prices. I get it. The average net profit for landscapers is 2%. That is abysmal. And I don't think people realize how low it is.
Yeah.
So just think about it. If you do a job that's $5,000, like you'd be pretty happy if you go out and sell a $5,000 job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing things. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. Guess what 2% of $5,000 is? $100. $100. Yeah, not how you feel. Not how you feel. So if you don't know your numbers and you think you're doing great because you're selling $5,000 jobs and you're making a hundo on that, whipped cream on garbage.
Well, how are you going to get those employees a raise? How are you going to be able to buy that new truck, that new skid steer, if you're not making any money? If you make $100, what are you going to do with that? That's not going to do anything.
Okay, we'll take that same $5,000 job. If you can get your net profit up to 12%, which now we're getting better. 12% on a $5,000 job is $600. Boom, course is paid for. One job, this course is paid for itself. And okay, let's get crazy. If you could get your net profit up to around 20%, that's you're doing great.
Awesome. Yep.
And we have people that do it. We have clients that do it. If you can get it up to around that 20%, now you've got $1,000 on that $500 or $5,000 job. So imagine going from $100 to $1,000 just by getting your numbers straight.
Yep.
It makes that big of a difference, and I think people just don't realize.
And we see many landscapers that don't pay themselves, or that pay themselves very, very minimal amount of money. Actually, my parents were doing this for a long time. They were just barely getting by. I mean, they owned the business for many years and making, I don't even remember, $20,000, $30,000 a year.
Oh, your mom especially. Even though she worked full time doing the books and everything, I want to say she had herself on salary for around $25,000 a year. It was
doing
bad.
all this work for that much money. I mean, and stressing yourselves out. You might as well go work for somebody else and do this because you'll make more money.
Yeah,
be a lot less stress.
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, that $5,000 job was just a real quick example, but I just want to reiterate. I don't think people realize that on average, national average, it's 2%, and that is terrible. And if you don't know your numbers, and if you're not tracking all of this, that's what you're doing, and you probably don't even know it.
Yep.
Yeah. So the even better news that we have about this is that you can have access to this course, honestly, for actually free if you're ready to make the commitment, because all of our Academy members are getting access to this 2-day event for free. So if you join the $1 Million Academy, then you get access to this course for absolutely free. So, I mean, cat's out of the bag. I'm letting you know that, it's almost a $600 course. But if you join the $1 Million Academy, you can get it for absolutely free. The Academy it's a monthly fee, but we don't have long-term contracts.
Yep.
We are so confident that you will love it that if you just join the Academy, you can join for a month and quit. You can. But we are that confident that you will get enough out of this that you're going to be like, nope, I'm sticking around. So.
Well, we just had one member, Seth. He hopped in, and he came to us because he wanted to learn his numbers. That was his big thing. And one of our group coaching calls we just had, he's like, I came to you for group coaching. I'm sorry, for the numbers. But then I realized, you have this. You have handbooks. You have, all this systems, procedures in there. He's kind of just shocked by how much we have inside there. And
well, we have so much in there that it actually kind of gets hard to talk about.
Well, it does.
Scott and I talk about this from a marketing perspective all the time. It's really hard to talk about how much we have in there. And so we do talk about numbers a lot, only because it is that foundation. Because honest to goodness, when people are struggling, that's the first thing that we tell people to look at. Yep. So that's why we talk about numbers so much, and that's why we have people start there, because we don't want you just putting whipped cream on garbage.
Yeah.
If you're worrying about like 1,700 other things when you're on a sinking ship, there's no point in that. And so that's why this is really the foundation of getting your business set and ready to go. So
Yeah, we see people come in, they want to get more leads, they want to get more work, which I agree, you need jobs,
yeah,
you need
we're
stuff,
not saying you don't have to sell.
but if you aren't pricing your work appropriately, you're just turns into a hobby. We see people just because they're just doing work for free or essentially for free.
Like a real crappy hobby. Like, oh, look at this, 50-hour-a-week hobby I have that's not paying me any money. Like, no, that's terrible. We've experienced it, and we don't want anybody else to experience it. So, like I said, we are that confident that you will get so much out of it that you'll be like, holy crap, why didn't I join the academy sooner?
Yep.
I ain't just saying. I mean, I'm a little biased, but I ain't saying, I'm just saying we've got a really good group of people. We started all of this just because we never wanted landscapers to go through what we went through. We wanted there to be a central place that landscapers could go to get all of the information they need, get their business turned around, get on your feet. So anyway, now I'm going to start crying. I just love it so much. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but it's something very important. We feel it's down to our heart. We honestly want you to do better. We want you to improve your business and have a better life beyond what you're just doing in your landscaping business, whether it's your personal life or doing whatever.
Well, that's something we didn't even talk about yet, is I'm actually going through coaching certifications to be a personal and executive coach, aka life coaching, because that's something that we're going to be adding more of into the academy, because we do understand. Do we have anyone in the academy who it's not just a small family business?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
And because we realize that this is your business and this is your life. And so that's why I've gone ahead and, like I said, looked into this other avenue of coaching that's not just the consulting like Scott does, where, he's teaching you numbers. I'm learning the life coaching aspect. So you can own your own business without, fighting with your wife and, losing your damn mind and everything like that. Well, because it's all important. So we got off on a little tangent.
Yeah, you have to have a work-life balance, and it makes it so much easier when you're actually making money. If you're struggling and you're just going to stress yourself out, you're going to stress your spouse out, and it's just going to make your life miserable. So everything goes back.
Money can't buy happiness, but it can definitely make your life easier.
Yes.
We'll just say that. It makes it a lot easier to find that happiness.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We'll just say that.
So definitely check out the numbers course. It's happening this weekend, so signed up today. Like you said, you get in for free if you join the $1 Million Academy. It's happening tomorrow, so don't waste any more time.
Tomorrow and Sunday,
Yep.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah. So it's going to be 2 packed full days, but you're going to be able to ask questions. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some breaks in there for lunch and all that stuff.
And it is recorded, like Scott said. So if you're like, oh, I can come to most of it, but not all of it, no worries. You'll have access to recordings. So.
Yep. So definitely get in there and check it out. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at scott@milliondollarlandscaper.com. We've got some behind the scene tours if you want to see what's in there, all that great stuff. So it's
we've had people that are kind of on the fence. Well, I mean, it's a little bit late to set up one of those calls now, being that this is in the morning. This is literally tomorrow morning.
Depending when you email me, I could possibly send you an email of the video that we've made for people. So
that kind of shows behind the scenes.
Yeah,
so why don't you just put that in the show notes? Can you do that?
I think I can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if it's possible, he'll just drop that in the show notes so you can take a look at it and get a look behind the scenes, just in case you're a little bit iffy on it.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. You got questions for me?
I got some questions for you. All right. Would you rather be able to erase people's memory or predict their futures?
I would probably want to just predict their futures, because even if memories aren't good, it's part of your life. It's what makes you you. So.
I like it. What's your favorite gadget?
I'm not super gadgety.
I was kind of curious what.
I mean, I like my Apple Watch a lot. Is that considered a gadget or tech?
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. That's one of those things that I like more than I thought I would.
Okay. And the last one. What's your recurring nightmare?
I haven't had it in a long time, but when I was little, I used to have this recurring nightmare of like an actual nightmare. Like, I didn't make this up. That I don't know where I was. I was like in this big building, and there was a slide that you went down, and like for whatever reason, I thought that whatever was at the bottom of the slide was horrible. Like I was made to think that it was scary, like where you go to die and it was like hell or something, that it was awful. And in the nightmare, my dad would push me down the slide. But then when I got down there, it was not bad. Like it was fine. There was like kids playing and stuff like that. But so for whatever reason, I had the recurring nightmare that my dad was pushing me down the slide to hell. But when I got there, it was fine. I don't know. I'm not a
person
dream.
look into that one there.
Yeah, I don't analyze
that.
dreams. I have no idea, but I had that one more than once when I was a
So
kid.
were you scared of going down slides then?
No, I still enjoyed slides in real life because you can see what's at the bottom, but this was like very ominous and like you couldn't, it curved and stuff and you couldn't see what was actually down there.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So anyhow, if you're interested,
On
go
that
check.
note.
I have to go talk to a therapist now about this.
Yeah, just get signed up for the numbers course. Don't worry about my weird dreams that I had as a child. Let's focus on you. Get your business turned around. Get your number set because you can. In the span of 2 days, you can really turn your business around. And there's still time in 2022 to see the awesome results of everything that you will learn in these 2 days.
Yep. So get signed up today. All right, gang. Well, thanks.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Yeah, hopefully.
Bright and squirrely, 9 a.m.
All right, guys. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.